Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the top 5 best guard builds in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Really quick, like and subscribe if you drink water, and also let me know if you guys are going to make any of these builds. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting things off is actually going to be my favorite build in this game. My previous video was a gameplay video with a build that's very similar to this build. So if you don't see this build in action, be sure to check it out. Also, if you guys did watch that video, you can probably skip through this first build. I did make a few slight tweaks, but it's pretty much still just the same build. For this build, this is a glitched build, so make sure on the metric system to start. And then also for the position, you're going to want to go with point guard. For the height, you're going to want to go with 1.77 meters, 66 kg, and 1.78 meters for the wingspan. Also, the way that majority of people mess this build up is they drop the height down to minimum and then bring it back up. What you have to do is go straight to 1.77 meters or else this build will not work. Pretty much just as long as you go straight to these measurements, you'll be fine. For the attributes and takeovers, pretty much just go with random stuff. It really doesn't matter. And then when you get on this screen with the build name, scroll over to where it says edit build, press edit build, back out to the main menu, and then change the units of measurement once again. Once you did change the units of measurement, go ahead and edit the build you just made. And once you're editing the build, you're going to want to change the body settings to this. First, go with 6'3", 169 pounds, and a 6'9" wingspan. These are overall just the best body settings for this build. You'll get a 92 driving dunk for elite contacts, a 92 speed with ball for Hall of Fame quick first step, as well as an 85 perimeter defense for gold clamps. Starting these off finishing, you guys can see this is very good with 23 shooting badges. And as well, you'll get the pro, small, and elite contact dunk package. And you're basically just going to be dunking on everyone. As well, as you guys can see, this is not a two-way slasher. You're definitely going to be able to green very consistently with an 88 three-pointer and 26 shooting badges. And if you buy boost, this is going to go up to a 93 three-pointer. Since this build is able to shoot quite well as well as dunk on everyone, this is a legitimate BP build. Offensively, this build is going to be very hard to guard. And then on to the playmaking, you guys can see this is quite good as well. You get 31 total playmaking badges. You're going to get every single dribble move in this game. As well, you guys can see Hall of Fame quick first step. And then scrolling down to defensive / rebounding, you guys see this build's able to hold its own on the defensive end. You have decent block as well as an 85 perimeter defense and a 90 steal for gold clamps and Hall of Fame interceptor. This build will be able to hold its own on the defensive end. And all around, this build will be able to play twos if you wanted to. And then on to the physicals, you guys can see this is quite good. You do need 85 vertical to get the small contact dunk package. And as well, you guys can see my speed is lower than my acceleration. This is simply because acceleration helps you speed boost faster, while speed helps you move around faster off ball. So for this reason, speed is way less important than acceleration. All around, this build is honestly just crazy. With 99 badges, this build can just do everything. Like, its finishing is very good. You're going to be able to dunk on everyone. Its shooting's pretty decent as well. You're going to be able to green very consistently. And your movement and passing is just crazy. Not to mention on the defensive end, you will be able to more than hold your own. Now, this version of the build is actually for Park. The biggest difference between Pro-Am and Park is free throws. So if you're planning on playing Rec Center or Pro-Am and you want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your ball handle 1 rating and your pass accuracy down 1 rating as well. This will give you an 80 free throw, which is good enough to hit free throws consistently. For the takes, I went with first limitless range and second finishing moves. In my opinion, definitely limitless range is the best takeover for this build. And just with the meta, you can even go double limitless range if you want to. But you guys are going to see a lot of the point guard builds I make have double limitless range, so I decided to go with finishing moves, since after all, this is a BP build. And then you guys can see I built a two-way threat, which pretty much tells me I've made a build that can do everything, so it makes a lot of sense. So I'm getting into the second guard build of this video. This is going to be another point guard build. And just like the previous build, this is also going to be a glitched build. So you're pretty much going to want to do the exact same thing. Go with the exact same body settings, 1.77 meters, 66 kg, and then 1.78 meters. And then pretty much go with random attributes and takeovers, edit the build, back out to the main menu, and change the units of measurement. Then go ahead, edit the build you just made, and copy everything I'm about to show you guys. Now, the build I'm about to show you guys is less of an all-around version. It's maybe more of a meta build, meaning that it specializes in three-point hunting. So for this reason, this build's probably a bit better for Rec Center and Pro-Am. And also, let me know if you guys want me to make this build to do a gameplay video with it. Or if you already have this build, let me know down below in the comment section. So now for the body settings, you're going to want to go with 6'1", 163 pounds, and 6'4" for the wingspan. And then starting this off finishing, you guys can see this is quite good. You're going to get 19 finishing badges. You're only getting an 84 driving dunk, which is good enough to get pro contact dunks. So you're not going to be like yamming on everyone like the previous build, but you will get the occasional contact. And as well, if you're isoing and you get an open lane towards the basket, you can comfortably take it. On the shooting, this is very, very good with a 94 3-pointer and 31 shooting badges. Also, this 94 3-pointer will become a 99 3-pointer if you buy boosts. So this build is just not going to be missing whatsoever. And since it is so good at shooting, this is definitely going to be a very good pro-am build. Onto playmaking, this is very good as well. This build gets 34 total playmaking badges, as well as Hall of Fame clamps, Hall of Fame quick chain, and Hall of Fame quick first step. Like the dribbling and passing on this build is just top tier. And then scrolling down a little bit more to defensive / rebounding, this is pretty much identical to the previous build. Now, obviously, you're not going to be as good of a defender, which is simply due to the fact that you have a much smaller wingspan and you're significantly shorter, but you have to make the sacrifice to be a lot faster and get better shooting. And then on to the physicals, you guys can see this is very, very good. Again, my speed is lower than my acceleration. Also, your acceleration, if you get Gym Rat or do the Gatorade drills, is going to become a 98, so you're going to be able to speed boost super fast. This build gets a 104 badges. As well, you guys can see this thing is just all around very, very good. I mean, to be honest, there's just nothing this build can't do. I would recommend making this build if you want a build that can do everything, but majority of the time you are 3-point hunting. If you want free throw on this build, what you're going to want to do is drop down your speed 1 rating. Also drop down your driving layup to a 72 and you can get an 86 free throw. Now for the takes, I went with double limitless range. This build is pretty much only going to be 3-point hunting builds, so these are the perfect takeovers. And then you guys can see I built a 2-way 3-point playmaker, which is honestly a very cool name that also makes a lot of sense. Now the next build I'm going to show you guys is not a glitched build. And for this build, we're going to be making a very, very good 3-point hunting build. Okay, so for the body settings of this build, you're going to want to go 5'11", 164 pounds, and 6'4" for the wingspan. In my opinion, these are the best body settings for a slightly undersized build such as this. Starting things off for the finishing attributes and badges, you guys can see this isn't really that crazy. Obviously, you're 5'11", so that doesn't help a ton. You will be able to get the pro contact dunk package, but you won't get that many contact dunks, honestly. Mostly, I just have a little bit of dunks, so that way you can finish around the rim. For shooting, this is honestly just crazy. You're getting a 91 mini and a 91 3-pointer, as well as 35 total shooting badges. Like, honestly, this build is just insane. For the playmaking, you guys can see this is quite good as well. I don't really think I need to explain this. And then on the defensive end, you will be able to kind of hold your own. Obviously, you're 5'11", so your defense isn't going to be that good, but it's not like you won't be able to play any defense at all. And then moving on to the physicals, you guys can see this is quite good. The one thing I will highlight is your acceleration at a 95, which will become a 99 with Gym Rat. Now, if you want free throw on this build, all you're going to want to do is drop down your speed with ball 1 rating to give you a 74 free throw, which is pretty good in my opinion. For the takes, obviously on this build, you're going to want to go double limitless range. Honestly, I think this is probably the only takeovers that make sense in my opinion. And then you guys can see I built a playmaking shot creator, which definitely makes a ton of sense as a name. So for the last 2 builds of this video, this is going to be kind of taller builds. And also these are going to be slightly unorthodox. You can call these shooting guard builds if you want to, since after all, they will be absolutely elite if you are a shooting guard. But the first one is going to be at the point guard position. This is going to actually be another glitched point guard build, and you're going to want to go with the exact same body settings and stuff as before. And then once you do go with these body settings, go with the random attributes and takeovers, press edit build back out to the main menu, and change the units of measurement. After that, edit the build you just made and you can equip these body settings. You guys can see you're 6'7", but even though you are 6'7", you're able to get much better stats, especially when it comes to speed. Starting this off with finishing, you guys can see this is very, very good with a 92 driving dunk. I mean, it's not really like a rim running build, but if you have an open lane towards the basket, you can comfortably take it. All around, this is going to be a very, very good finishing build, even though you only have 17 finishing badges. On this build, you're definitely going to be able to easily get a ton of contact dunks. For shooting, this is quite good as well with an 84 3-pointer. Obviously, this is the lowest 3-pointer on any of the builds I've showed you guys so far, but that does not mean this build can't shoot. In fact, this build can green very, very consistently, but the amount of whites you make and stuff might not be as insane as some of the previous builds. For playmaking, this is quite good. It's not really that crazy because I wanted to upgrade defense a ton. And if we scroll down a little bit, you guys can see this is just crazy. With 26 total defensive badges, Hall of Fame claims, Hall of Fame interceptor, as well as gold intimidator and gold rebound chaser. definitely this is going to be an absolutely crazy perimeter lockdown build. And then for the physicals, you guys can see this is quite good as well. I don't really think I need to explain this. All around, this build is going to be very, very good and can do pretty much everything. Although most likely it's going to be best if you're using this as a perimeter lockdown build. Now, if you do want free throw on this build, what you're going to want to do is drop down the speed 1 rating. Also drop down your offensive rebound to a 51. And then after you've done that, drop down your standing dunk 1 rating and bump up your free throw to an 87. For the takeovers, I recommend going with first extreme clamps and second limitless range. I consider this primarily a perimeter lockdown build and then second a point guard build. So that's why I went with these takeovers. And then you guys can see I built a 2-way 3-point shot creator, which definitely makes a ton of sense as a name. Now for the 5th and final build of this video, this is going to be the tallest build I've showed you guys in this video. And this is also going to be the only shooting guard build I show you guys in this video as well. This is a glitched build, but you're going to want to start on the Imperial system. For the position, you're going to want to go with shooting guard. And then for the body settings, go with 6'3", max weight, max wingspan in the burly body shape. And then for the attributes and takeovers, you're going to want to go with random stuff. This honestly does not matter whatsoever. When you're on this screen, scroll over to where it says edit build, press edit build, and then back out to the main menu. After that, as you guys know, change the units of measurement and edit the build you just made. Now for the body settings, you're going to want to go with 2.05 meters, 85 kg, and then 2.26 meters for the wingspan. Also, I know most of you guys probably aren't used to the metric system, so pretty much 2.05 meters translates over to 6'9", making this definitely a very oversized guard build. Now, starting things off with finishing. This is honestly very, very good with 24 total finishing badges, and as well a 92 driving dunk and an 84 standing dunk. This build's finishing is honestly just elite, and you're going to be able to dunk on pretty much everyone. For shooting, this is quite good. You're able to get 24 total shooting badges as well as a 79 3-pointer, which is more than good enough to green very consistently. You're not going to be making like a ton of whites on this build, although you will make quite a few. And as I said, if you know your jump shot, you're going to green very consistently. Now moving on to the playmaking of this build. Obviously, you're not going to be able to dribble super easily, but definitely if you know what you're doing, you will be able to dribble quite well, which kind of makes this like a point forward build, but you're at the shooting guard position. So I guess just an oversized guard. And moving on to the defense of this build, you guys can see this is very, very good with 28 total defensive badges, as well as pretty much every single defensive badge on at least gold. I mean, the defense on this build is just crazy. And then on to the physicals, you guys can see this is very, very good. I don't really think I need to explain this. Now, if you want free throw on this build, I recommend doing is drop down your speed to a 76. Also drop down your driving weight to a 73, and you can get a 75 free throw. For the takes, I went with first extreme clamps and second limitless range. I think definitely go with extreme clamps first, and then for the secondary takeover, it's kind of up to you. And then you guys can see I built a 2-way facilitator, which I guess kind of makes sense as a name, but I'm surprised it's not a 2-way slasher or something. Although, with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for the video. There's a gameplay video, a dribble tutorial, and my animations on the screen right now. Like, comment, subscribe, go follow me on Twitter, and I'm out. Peace.